Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's U.S. political news broadcast. Today we'll be talking about Donald Trump, the 2020 American presidential election, John Bolton, and more. But first, this video is not meant to partisanly promote any political party. It is meant to inform viewers about U.S. politics. So, let's get this show on the road. First off, what was supposed to be the U.S. President Donald Trump's comeback rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma, going into the 2020 election season, has turned out to not be a great comeback. The Republican organizers were expecting a large crowd for the U.S. president, so they rented the Bank of Oklahoma Center Arena, which is able to seat 19,000 people, planning two events, a regular political rally inside the arena, and a shorter rally held outdoors for the overflow crowd. But, as the headlines now state, the outdoor rally had to be canceled since there was no overflow crowd, because the total attendance for the event was only about 6,200 people. Approximately a third of the stadium's capacity showed up to the event. As such, many people jumped to claim that this was a heavy blow for the Trump campaign, and that enthusiasm for the presidential campaign had been significantly weakened. But let's dig deeper to see what actually happened, which was a variety of factors. The first of which is a certain microorganism that's going around right now, whose name will get me demonetized on YouTube, so I'll just refer to it as the microorganism. Likely, a lot of Trump's supporters were interested in watching the rally, but had concerns regarding the spread of the microorganism, since the United States' numbers are still heavily increasing. And this enthusiasm towards the campaign event showed, not through in-person attendance, but through the 5.3 million recorded views of the rally through Fox News broadcasting. So even though the president is currently down in the polls against Joe Biden, his base still seems quite enthusiastic about his campaign. Another possibility which had been mentioned was the presence of protesters around the rally, with Trump's campaign manager claiming over Twitter that protests resulted in decreased attendance. However, looking back at the 2016 Trump campaign, such protests didn't seem to have a major impact on his rally's attendance. According to the Associated Press political writer Sean Murphy, the Trump supporters, even with decreased attendance, outnumbered the protesters near the arena. Judging from the past turnout that Trump has received despite protests, it's likely it was a factor, however not an overwhelming one, which would have decreased the attendance to 1/3 capacity on its own. Finally, and perhaps the strangest possibility, was organized by TikTokers. According to the Trump campaign, over 1 million people registered to get tickets, but only 6,200 people came to the rally. Before the rally, it became a trend on the social media app TikTok to falsely register for the Tulsa rally and not attend the day of, with Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez stating that they got outsmarted by teens on TikTok. But it's a little more complicated than that. Although there were a bunch of false registries, it wasn't because of that the stands were empty. Because even if TikTok users had occupied the seats inside the arena, there should have still been a bunch of Trump supporters coming to the overflow area around the arena. But the overflow rally had to be canceled since there was no one outside, leading us to argue that the TikTok users didn't prevent Trump supporters from getting seats to the event, because there weren't enough people willing to attend either way. All they did was increase the Trump campaign's expectations, not actually preventing people from getting into the event. Overall, we think that the main message of this story demonstrates just how important technology will be for getting Trump and Biden's messages out during the campaign season, with the microorganisms still going around, since far fewer people are going to be willing to attend campaign rallies in person. Next up, former National Security Advisor John Bolton is releasing a tell-all book about President Trump called The Room Where It Happened, with a series of harsh criticisms and claims related to the administration, which Trump attempted to block from releasing unsuccessfully by claiming that it was not approved by a security check for not dispelling state secrets. But nonetheless, it's releasing to the public, including a bunch of quite interesting claims Bolton has made against the president, including allegedly asking Chinese President Xi Jinping to help him get reelected, allegedly agreeing with the Chinese president on the topic of Uyghur Muslim re-education camps, allegedly attempting to send Kim Jong-un a CD of Rocket Man, and allegedly not knowing that the United Kingdom is an atomic power. Whether these are true or not, we don't know, but I'm curious to see how the book's publication and contents play out overall. Additionally, for the time being, Bolton has said that he will not support Democratic presumptive nominee for president Joe Biden. As such, instead of voting for either Trump or Biden, he will be writing in the name of a conservative independent, according to a statement made by his office. And now, U.S. Attorney Geoffrey S. Berman, the top prosecutor investigating Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, has been kicked out by the U.S. Attorney General William Barr, with Barr originally claiming that Berman had resigned and that he was being replaced by Chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Jay Clayton, after which Berman tweeted that he had no intention of resigning. After which Barr stated that the president fired him. Then Trump said that he wasn't involved in this and didn't fire anybody. Through his announcement, Barr stated that he would be replacing Berman instead with Deputy United States Attorney Audrey Strauss, after which Berman agreed to finally step down from the position of United States Attorney General for the Southern District of New York. And the House of Representatives Judiciary Committee has now declared that it would immediately open up an investigation into the situation for the possibility of corruption. So, this story is still playing out in the media and is as confusing as ever. Finally, Kentucky lawmakers have announced that they will be cutting the number of polling stations for future voting by 95%. This was before the Kentucky primary, reducing 3,700 polling stations to about 200, a decision which has been condemned both by Republicans and Democrats across the country, with many accusing the state of attempting to suppress the African American vote. However, the state's Board of Elections has claimed that to be misinformation, stating that it is simply a precaution that will be temporarily put in place due to the microorganism going around right now, with Democratic Governor Andy Beshear announcing that all voters could request an absentee ballot through the mail. Beshear being the same governor who had vetoed ID bills attempting to restrict the African American vote in the past. The situation is currently still unfolding, with both sides making opposing claims. This has been Logic Owl US Political News. If you enjoyed, please click the subscribe and like buttons. Also, articles are in the description if you want to read more about it. Have a great day. Bye!